Yeah, New South Wales is the next election, obviously, but federally, the big things that change. You mentioned Scott Morrison's popularity. It seemed there was a bit of a shift as well on viewers, I should say. I'm always thinking of the viewers, on voters' views on climate and the emergence of teal candidates as well. The last one perhaps gets the trickiest for the Liberal Party because they've got to try to win back those voters. Well, I think they do anyway. They can't give up all of those seats while still trying to maybe make ground up on Labor in outer suburbs, and then there are national seats when you talk about the coalition. And it seems to be getting harder and harder to sort of broadcast rather than narrowcast.
It is, and one of the challenges that the Liberal Party has moving forward is that it has to do two key issues. First, it has to reconnect with traditional Liberal Party voters, especially in those inner metropolitan seats that the party has traditionally held and won, seats like Kooyong, Goldstein and others across the country. Secondly, they have to be able to have that broad policy agenda that can attract voters who are swinging voters, who are not committed to either party, and will be looking up and weighing up the options presented to them by the major parties. The risk for the Liberal Party is that if it is now starting to focus on representing only small or specific policy issues, then it risks alienating or not attracting those other voters who are those swinging voters who are looking at what the options are presented by the parties and will be voting based on those options. So it's going to be a very fine balance for Mr Dutton and the leadership team of the Liberal Party at the national level to try and get that balance right.
It's always interesting with Peter Dutton because most people that know him in this building and know him personally say self-deprecating, you know, really, really nice bloke to talk to, and the public perception is very different. That's obviously important. The leader still matters. How do you sort of manage that? Is it going to be a classic, let's go over summary, you could get maybe a new pair of glasses, the classic political makeover? Is it more policy driven? Where do you see that?
I suspect part of the problem for the Liberal Party has been its policy agenda. And it really has been unable to reconcile the challenges and the tensions between the more socially progressive Liberals and the more conservative, socially conservative members within its own party. And I think we look at the battles that the Liberal Party has had in the past, in the 1980s, for example, the division between the wets and the dries, the Howard era between 96 and 2007 sort of was able to manage those competing demands relatively effectively, arguably because Howard had gone through those challenges and seen the damage it causes to a party. But what the problem for the party is to remain or to be that broad church, to be able to attract members from all different sorts of political perspectives, but all united with that broad principle that the Liberal Party stands for. And I think that's going to be the big challenge, rather than makeovers and those specific sort of things that can happen for political leaders as time progresses.